The Zandalari have kept a rigid caste system for thousands of years. At the bottom lie the peasants, a caste which also includes fishers and craftsmen. Above them are the warriors, above them are the priests and the scholars, which the Zandalari prize far more than the other troll tribes. They are selected from a young age, at least from adolescence, and are notably exempt from the coming-of-age trials that other Zandalari must perform. The highest of them form the Zanchuli Council, advisors and enforcers of the king, and above all of them lies King Rastakhan. It's also worth mentioning that the ancient Zandalari did not, and even frowned upon, keeping slaves, but their modern descendants have been known to enslave at least the goblins when it was convenient. Notably, despite their relatively rigid society, it's quite possible that the Zandalari haven't always had a monarchy, and that it is a relatively new institution. Thousands of years ago, when the Zandalari only just began negotiating their alliance with the Mogu, their leader in this endeavor was a troll named Zul'Drak, who only bore the title of High Priest. Zul'Drak was enchanted by the possibility that the Thunder King could grant eternal life, and so he, along with most of the elite of Zuldazar, accompanied the Mogu in their failed invasion of Oldham. Throughout these events, despite the fact that almost the entire elite of the Zandalari was gathered, Zul'Drak is still portrayed as one of, if not the leader of the group, due to his role as chief negotiator of the Mogu. His death during the invasion, along with the deaths of most of the elite, also crippled the Zandalari for centuries, leaving a vast power vacuum, which one would think would have been more easily filled if they had had a king. Thousands of years later, during the early days of the Pandaren Empire, the Zandalari were fiercely divided as to how to approach the issue of acquiring land in Pandaria. These debates were settled after a descendant of Zul'Drak, named Mengazi, convinced the other Zandalari to invade Pandaria. These great debates, again, might not have happened if there was a king, since the Zandalari king's word is considered absolute in present time. There is one interesting coincidence, however, in this story, which might tie Zul'Drak to the current King Rastakhan. The Thunder King, before his demise, had artificially extended the life of Zul'Drak and of several other members of the Zandalari elite. Meanwhile, one of the reasons King Rastakhan was well known, and one of the often repeated facts about him, is that he has reigned for over 200 years. It could be possible, following this line of thought, that Rastakhan is a descendant of Zul'Drak. The Zandalari are well known for their use of dinosaurs in battle. The organization responsible for these creatures is the Zandalari Beast Ward, and the magic they use is called Dinomancy, although Zandalari coming-of-age ceremonies often involve taming a raptor or a larger type of dinosaur. Typically, the Zandalari prefer to bond with these creatures, specifically raptors, over many years before using them, forging what the trolls call a bond of blood. In times of need, however, such as during the Pandaria conflict, the Zandalari can turn to the old ways and enslave their raptors by binding their essences to fetishes. During the Great Sundering, the Zandalari were able to protect their land by weaving their powerful magics, to the point where they emerged from the endeavor almost entirely intact. During the Cataclysm, however, they were unable to prevent damage to their island. Initially, the entire island of Zandalar was said to be sinking, with mentions of a great fissure appearing in the Forum of Zuldazar and the entire palace of Rastakhan being supposedly tilted sideways, though this was apparently changed to just the land of Nazmir beginning to sink into the sea. Despite being tempted to call them relatively isolationist, the Zandalari have taken an active interest in the affairs of all of the other troll empires, except the Sand Trolls after the Sundering. Chronologically, 6,800 years ago, the Zandalari took an active role in uniting the forest troll tribes and directing them to attack the Hives of Quel'thalas, starting what would become known as the Troll Wars. These Zandalari even participated in the war, summoning powerful Loa to aid the Amani. Later, 1500 years ago, the Zandalari actively invaded the Gurubashi Empire in order to stop their worship of Hakar the Soul Flare, although most of the jungle trolls didn't join them in their fight. A few years ago, they would return to Stranglethorn Vale for a similar purpose. Finally, during the events of the Wrath of the Lich King, several Zandalari traveled to Zul'Drak, both to chronicle the fall of the Drukhari to the Scourge and to save their Loa from being sacrificed by them. Though it could be argued that, during all of these events, the Zandalari involved themselves for the betterment of all trollkind, at least how they saw it. Sometime between Vol'jin's attempted assassination and the second fall of the Thunder King, the Zandalari launched another invasion of Pandaria alongside the Mogu, reaching so far as the Valley of Eternal Blossoms. Despite causing major damage, their main goal was to reach the tomb of Warlord Kao, a trusted advisor of the Thunder King in ancient times, and revive him. Though they skirmished with the Horde and mainly the Alliance, their principal enemy during this attempt was the Shado-Pan, a human named Tyrfan Court, and Vol'jin himself, who were in their care, and Chen Stormstout. The Zandalari were successful in reviving Warlord Kao and then attacked the Shado-Pan monastery itself. There, however, they were defeated by 30 Shado-Pan warriors, including Terran Zu, along with Tyrfan, Vol'jin and Chen, the so-called 33.